What if you could design a civilization that was fundamentally, unshakably stable? Not one based on shifting politics or competing ideologies, but one built on the exact same laws that govern the universe. Well, today we're looking at a blueprint that aims to do just that. This is Project Sovereign Coherence. So, where does a project this ambitious even begin? It starts with a pretty stark diagnosis of our modern world. It asks a really basic but crucial question. Why do our systems, from finance to governance, always seem to be on the brink of collapse? The answer, according to this project, is that our entire civilization is built on a foundation with some very deep, very serious architectural flaws. The first of these critical flaws, it's fragmentation. And when you think about it, it's everywhere. Our knowledge is broken up into these separate, disconnected silos. You've got science over here, ethics over there, and law somewhere else entirely. They don't talk to each other, so we can never really get a single, coherent picture of reality. And, when everything is fragmented like that, what happens next is almost inevitable. You get incoherence. Our rules, our laws, our ethics, they don't have a shared objective foundation to stand on. So they become inconsistent, they're easy to manipulate, and worst of all, they become totally disconnected from what's physically true. The end result of all that? The big payoff from all this fragmentation and incoherence? Well, it's instability. When our knowledge is shattered and our governance makes no sense, our whole social structure, even our personal sense of who we are, becomes incredibly fragile. This is the real source of the constant crises we seem to be living through. Okay, so if those are the problems, how on earth do you fix them? The proposed solution starts with a radical, fundamental shift in thinking. You have to take governance completely out of the world of human opinion and politics and instead ground it in the hard reality of physical law. This slide really gets to the heart of that shift. On one side, you have what we know now, legacy governance. It's adversarial, it's political, it's just a constant tug-of-war of ideologies. But on the other side, you have something called semantic governance. Here, the goal isn't to win an argument. The goal is to find alignment. Think of it like tuning an old radio until the signal is perfectly clear. Decisions aren't debated, they're calculated to see if they resonate with reality itself. So what exactly are we trying to resonate with? It's something called the Kushi-Pasev field, or the KP field for short. Now, this is a mind-bending idea. It suggests that meaning isn't just some abstract concept we have in our heads. In this model, meaning is a physical property of the universe, just like gravity. The KP field is the fundamental medium where energy, meaning, and cause and effect all come together. Okay, so you have these incredible principles, but how do you actually build and maintain a civilization based on them? It's pretty clear you'd need a totally new kind of institution, one whose mission isn't about profit or power, but is simply about maintaining coherence. And that institution has a name. The Global Institute of Logic and Cybernetics, or GILC. It's described not as a government, not as a corporation, but as an institutional organism. A better way to think about it might be as a central nervous system for civilization. It has one single job. Make sure that every single layer, from our laws to our energy grids, stays perfectly aligned and coherent. And this right here, this quote, is everything. It explains the massive power shift. Inside GILC, no person, no group, no committee holds the ultimate authority. The highest authority is coherence itself. A decision is valid not because a powerful person says so, but only if it perfectly aligns with the fundamental structure of reality, period. All right, so we have the institution and the philosophy, but what are the actual building blocks? How does GILC take these abstract ideas and turn them into a real, functioning society? The answer lies in a concept called fabrics. It's all based on something called digital Fabrica theory. And the idea is pretty profound. It says you don't build a civilization like a machine with clunky, separate parts that can break. Instead, you weave it from these interconnected, almost living fabrics that sustain all of its core functions, from identity to the economy. This new type of civilization, which they call scroll civilization, is woven from 6 of these major fabrics. Let's just run through them. First, you've got the identity fabric, grounding who we are. Second, the knowledge fabric, defining what is true. Then the governance and cultural fabrics, which guide how we act and what we create. And finally, the economic and energy fabrics, which sustain the entire system. Each one is distinct, but they're all woven together. So you have this incredible architecture, the field, the institution, the fabrics. But what holds it all together? Well, the entire system operates under a single universal law. A law that's designed to replace every piece of legislation we have, and really to end political debate as we know it. And the core philosophy is so simple but so powerful. In this system, validity times is resonance. An action, a law, a new technology, it isn't right or wrong based on someone's opinion. It's either in resonance with the deep structure of reality or it's not. It's either coherent or it's just noise. And believe it or not, it all boils down to this single mathematical expression. You can forget about voting, about courts, about arguments. This equation becomes the new arbiter of law. It simply says an action is valid if, and only if, its measured alignment with the KP field, that's the kappa value, is above a certain minimum threshold for coherence. This isn't a metaphor. It's a proposed physical calculation that would govern absolutely everything. So what's the payoff? What do you actually get when you build a civilization on these principles? Well, you get a society with some completely new qualities. It's geometrically grounded in reality itself. Your personal identity is physically protected. It can't be stolen or manipulated. Ethics are anchored in physics, not shifting social trends. The system is stable by its very design. And it's cosmologically aware. It understands its place in the universe. And that leads us to the final concept, the ultimate goal of this entire architecture: sovereign coherence. This is a state where a civilization is no longer ruled by the chaos of competing human wills. It becomes truly sovereign because it is in perfect, stable alignment with the very fabric of existence itself. A system governed not by man, but by physics.